love. Make sure Nate make it to the party. Angry man, what's popping?
What's good? I heard an interesting discussion, and plus, Cats earlier was saying, "Angry man, you should come to the show tonight." So I came back through.
No doubt, I appreciate you. Question, comment. First off, Angry man, I know a couple of other people told me I don't need to do this, but I do. I just like to pay homage to the people that built and created these spaces. So Angry man, if you guys don't know, he's one of the pioneers of the Black Manosphere, Red Pill, etc., etc. So he built a lot of just the construct of us having these spaces. Rock. I know you're not a professional podcaster, Rock. When I'm giving an intro, you don't need to interject. All right. I'm sweaty too. I'm drunk. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to pay homage because, you know, the pioneers, you know, you got to make sure you say their names out loud. You give them their flowers while they're here, and they don't have to come to little obscure panels like this. You feel me? So shout out to Angry Man.
Hey man, I appreciate it. Even though that intro probably makes all the women hate my guts, but
nah.
You know, it is what it is. I appreciate it though, bro.
Real talk. Already. Now you notice this time I left out that you also created the incels. I didn't want to give them that part, but look here,
that's an unfortunate side effect, man.
Yeah. Unfortunate side. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead, do your thing.
Nah, I was just listening to Joshua give his ask the question, and I'm like, bruh, you must not have a lot of interaction with sisters because you got to realize they don't really care what you say, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm sure of it. I'm just trying to understand what direction they're trying to go. I'm actually confused. I've only watched Risky's, I think, like last 5-6 panels. A lot of it's kind of confusing.
Joshua, nobody is more confused than us, sweetheart.
Yeah, see, you gotta look. Here's the thing: like, you're asking a question that's too broad. You feel what I'm saying? You can't, because like when you look at you mentioned individualism, right?
Yes, sir.
The reason why you see Black people engaging in individualism is because in this day and age, Black people, in my opinion, have more freedom than they've ever had in the history of this country. So you see a lot of Black people going in a lot of different directions because they're trying to figure out what's best for them, what works best for them. Now, while I agree that they should be able to answer the question simply what their goals are, you know what I'm saying? You never know. That might be the first time somebody asked them that question. You ladies can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that wasn't the first time I've been asked.
Anybody else?
Come on,
no, it wasn't the first time. I just don't like the approach of people coming up on the panel. It's just it seems to be a waste of time. If you have a point to make, I'd rather you just make the point rather than going, you know, around the room and asking us a bajillion questions to make the point for you. So it's just which really didn't help to clarify anything whatsoever because you were talking about two things on opposite sides of conversation. But
so basically mean what you say and say what you mean, right?
Or just say something. Just say something instead of interrogating us and asking us a bunch of questions. Make your point.
Thank you, man. What happens is what Dana's trying to illustrate is she does a little bit better job when she's inebriated, but she's chilling tonight. Nah, they get on nerves all night, Angry Man. I'm on the ass. But so what happens is people ask a question that they want to answer themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Dana's like, just fucking make your comment then. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't asking me genuinely. So that often I don't think Josh was doing that per se.
Yes, he was.
I love hold your voice. But for a fact there's others that do it pretty egregiously. Go ahead.
Yeah, what he should have did instead of, because I was listening to the whole thing, instead of asking them that, what you should have just did is made a statement. You should have just said, I don't think y'all have any goals.
Yeah, Dana would have appreciated that.
And then you could go from there. You feel what I'm saying? But to do that, see, this is the problem, ladies. Okay, we now live in this ultra sensitive society now where guys will beat around the bush because they don't want to be offensive. You feel what I'm saying? They don't want to say something that's going to immediately offend you, whereas they should just say it so you can get into the real conversation.
They get on here and call
I disagree.
me fat every time I'm on here.
You said what?
I
said they get on here and call me fat every time I'm on here.
That's messed up.
But Angry Man, I think that the line of questioning is in itself like it's condescending, it's mansplaining, it's not helpful. So it's that is more offensive to me.
Well,
yeah, it is because you're trying to break down your point without making your point. You want us to make it for you by asking this line of questions rather than just landing the plane and making the point. But when you do it and you approach it that way, it's condescending.
To be fair to the point, to be fair to the point, that was their first interaction with me. We were talking about rights and where they came from, and I was as aggressive as hell. I was extremely aggressive with it. So they would have every reason to believe that I'm the type of person that just basically bulldozes women. They don't really know me. As soon as they get to know me, they'll understand. I don't really operate that way. I'm kind of more in the questioning. These women specifically I see on panel, they're confusing because things aren't exactly clear to me. But we come from different backgrounds. We come from different cultures. Thus, I'm confused by a lot of things. I'm actually genuinely interested in like the goals because I believe that's what usually indicates what prescriptions they're given.
If that's the case, why you come up here so hot?
Because
out the gate, you came up here hot, Joshua. But Josh, hold on. Before you answer that, can you put that super chat back up? I'll read it for you.
Yeah, I need to read all of them. Go ahead.
Shout out to Antoine too with the $2 super chat. Hamp thinks he's Aaron.
I like what you do to me.
Antoine with the $2. Hamp thinks he's Aaron Hall from Guy with That Shirt. Antoine is an asshole.
Oh crap! You got to knock me down.
Why? What happened?
Yeah, super chat.
Super chat. Somebody kicked you. Hold on. Let me read it. Wow, wisdom with the $10. I thought black men claim they want natural hair. Now you see it. Now you don't want it. Make it make sense. Hello, Angry Man. Glad you're here, even though you got me earlier. No, he didn't say nothing about it. He said she needed redone. But Ro here look pretty good to me.
It's cute.
He was coming for her. That was a dig.
Bring that. I'll give him my Cash App. I won't be going to his girl. I'll be going to my beautician.
Marcus Evans with the file. Shout out to Angry Man. The GOAT Angry Man with the fist. Don't hurt the so-called sisterhood tonight, bro. Joanna? Is this Juana?
I think it's Juana.
Man, I think your parents spelled whatever. Your parents spelled your name wrong, Joanna. Washington with the $5. Exactly as I said, ellipsis. There is no collective goal for black people.
That's silly to even say that.
Wow, wisdom with the 20 ball. Okay, getting late. Get Josh out. Damn. Wow. Damn, man. I thought Josh was doing pretty good. Somebody bring Josh back, man. I like what Josh got to say, man. Uh-oh. Caesar's Pals with a 20 ball. I want to hear his question.
Wow.
Damn.
So to answer your question, Dana, the reason why I was hot and heavy is because everything that was stated while we were all basically, you ladies were on panel, and there's Risky, and there's the rest of us down here in chat. We're listening to this stuff. So the idea of like, oh, well, I can do what I want. It was all based on even the wording allow. People are allowed. It's never how it's operated in all of 7,000 years of recorded history. I came in hot because it pretty much destroyed any concept of like what men do. We don't function the way. Example, the Constitution. It's a standard. It's a designation of a standard that we want within our society. But the thing that rules it is violence, period. And so everybody's negating that, saying, well, men don't do certain things. They just give stuff away. Every man earns their way.
So what you're saying is you came in
Yo,
hot
real
because
quick,
you were
shout out
offended.
to Jay Rillo. Can y'all see my screen? Shout
Yes,
out to
we can
Jay
see it.
Rillo with the 20 ball, man.
Shit like that.
Y'all got a credit, man.
you,
So y'all gonna have to pay 40 to get Josh back up out of here. Go ahead, Josh.
Damn.
Or Dana. My bad.
Dana.
I was just saying, so it sounds like you came in hot because you were offended by what was being said. You took personal
It's
offense to it.
because it wasn't even an accurate description of the reality of how life operates. It was like the same concept of saying that white men gave black men their freedom. They didn't. There was a mess load of black people that fought in the Civil War. Black people earned their freedom.
Right, but we don't have to go back through it. But I was just speaking to the point that you were, coming on here to gain understanding because you are outside of our culture and you have questions that you genuinely wanted to have answered. And what I was saying is that's not the way to do it by coming in hot and aggressive with us because you disagree with something that we say. So if your true goal is to gain understanding, which I think is BS, quite frankly, because of the way that you were addressing us, then maybe take a different approach.
Oh, that would be true, except for like today I didn't come up to try to understand. It's just now I'm on panel, so I'm going to ask questions. But no, I came directly because of the whole rights thing.
Okay.
Yeah, you said two different things.
I'll also add that we never said black and white. We were talking specifically about men fighting for women's rights. The black and white thing didn't come up till you did, Mr. Jones. So I just want that to be clear.
No, so real quick, so somebody said that black men didn't have rights. That was mentioned before Josh got up here.
Oh, in general, okay, I missed that part.
Yeah, black men were
in this country, and in this country they didn't. And I said it. I said it.
So that's where his argument came from. And when he first came on, he was addressing what had already been said. So at that point, he was giving his stance. And then maybe he rewound and said, okay, let me ask for clarification on X, Y, and Z. KG Kennels with the $5. Shalom, just showing love to my brethren.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
You about to say love?
Like
and I want to ask Angry Man a question. Go ahead.
There's not. That's cool. I'm good. Go ahead.
You good? God damn! Somebody take a picture of this moment.
See how you can't leave good enough alone? See?
Angry Man.
What up?
Who you think benefits more from the so-called patriarchy in modern days? Average men or women?
Women.
I don't even think it's close. What's your sentiment?
Women have always benefited from the patriarchy. Always. The only reason why they can make an argument that they didn't benefit from it is because there were men back in the day that abused the power that they had. So because men back in the day abused the power that they had and put women in certain positions, they could say, oh, the patriarchy is bad, but they're ignoring the fact that the patriarchy is the reason why women have certain things. Women didn't get feminism and certain rights and stuff because they fought for it. They got it because when they attempted to fight for it, men that were in positions of power allowed it. That's just a reality. Like when you look at everything that we have in this, even when you look at white women back in the day that used to complain about, oh, I'm not able to work, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do that. In the 50s, it's like, yeah, you had a husband that worked and paid everything, and all you did was really chill at the crib and do housework and shit. You had it made. And the funniest thing about it is I don't understand why sisters try to identify with that, because that's never been our experience as black people. As black people, we both worked. The man and the woman worked. There was only I would say a low percentage of black women that were what you would consider housewives and shit like that. But most black people back in the day, part of the reason those white women were able to be housewives is because black women were watching their kids and cleaning their houses and shit. That's just a reality. So when you look at the patriarchy, it's really annoying when you see black men getting included in the drama of the patriarchy, because black men haven't truly, by and large, had a patriarchy. We've never had a patriarchy in this country. Black men are just now getting to the point where we have the ability to have somewhat of a patriarchy. But the problem is, every time we bring up the patriarchy, we get painted with the same brush that white men get painted with from their patriarchy and everything that comes with that.
Two questions real quick. Two questions. One is, why would a patriarchy put themselves at a disadvantage? What you mean? Because I don't want to get lost in this, but because you said it benefits the women more than it does them. So why would they put themselves at a disadvantage? Two, what would the black patriarchy look like?
Okay, well, one, the men that are that have the levers of power, the men that are actually at the top of the pyramid, putting women at an advantage does not put them at a disadvantage. And the reason why is because the men at the top always have one singular problem, which is the men at the bottom. In order to keep the men at the bottom from rising to the top, if they allow women to engage in feminism and all of these different things that have been known to freaking disrupt the family and destroy the nuclear family or whatever, it's harder for the men at the bottom to rise to the top. So basically, the whole reason why the men at the top allowed feminism and pushed for feminism is because by putting women in a position where they're technically over the men, it keeps those men from rising to the top to threaten their power at the top.
So it's really a pseudo power, or it's really a pseudo advantage for the women. So when you guys are saying the women are more advantaged, it's more so pseudo and not in reality. It gives the appearance.
It gives the appearance of an advantage, and at the bottom level, it gives the women the advantage over the men at the bottom, but it doesn't give the women the advantage over the men at the top, which is why you have things going on with where women have certain things happen, like the Roe v. Wade thing and all of that different stuff.
So who is it really?
One question, love, before you ask that question. Are there more men, angry men, at the bottom or the top?
The bottom.
Okay. Go ahead, love.
So, dang, I should have wrote my question down. So who really is benefiting from patriarchy then? Truly, really, not pseudo, but really benefiting them, based upon your answer which you just gave. It sounds like men still.
Women.
Well, the original concept of patriarchy would really benefit everybody if it's done properly.
No,
but it's not being done properly. Right now, it's not. Right now, there isn't a patriarchy right now, not technically.
So how do you answer this question then? You answered the question by saying women benefited the most, but now you're saying there is no true patriarchy, and really there's a pseudo benefit to the women because they're really being weaponized to keep the lower men down. So I'm just really trying to just narrow down the answer.
Because patriarchy didn't just start. So when you ask me who benefited from patriarchy, I said the women, because I'm talking about the entire span of patriarchy. If you're talking about patriarchy today we have a pseudo patriarchy. Today you don't really have a patriarchy. Today what you have is oligarchs. You have men at the top that pretty much call the tune and everybody has to dance to it. You see what I'm saying?
I think I hear you, but it's getting more. It's like you're moving the goalpost every time you answer. To be very honest with you, because when Hamp asked you, you said women. That's all you said. You didn't say, well, it's really a pseudo benefit to the woman, and it really isn't. And this is across the span of all patriarchy. You see what I'm saying? Like you answered very absolutely in the beginning, and now that's all. That's all. I was like, I hear you, but
because that type of answer requires context. I'm trying to give context to the answer. I'm not really trying to move the goalpost. I'm just saying what it is. Right now, when you look at what is considered patriarchy, how many men really run their households?
Not many.
Not many. Okay. Yeah. So you still have the concept of patriarchy, and you still have the idea that we're under a patriarchy, quite frankly, because it still gives women something to complain about.
And so just to clarify my question, also, love, which he did answer, who benefits from patriarchy? Remember I said that? And then I said what? Average men or women? See, I know what I'm saying. I'm not talking about.
I'm not talking about you, him. I was really
No.
directing.
I'm saying hold your horses. All right, you ain't. I'm talking now. You know you ain't smarter than me.
You was talking. You asked me a question. You had dialogue, sir.
Also, move back from the camera. Your forehead. Put a hole in the goddamn camera.
Don't say so. You know you old.
You try to show your teeth off. So, but that's why I'm very careful when I'm saying, because I'm saying average men. So even though it's pseudo because there's men at the very, very top, those women are exalted over the average men, which are also the majority. So remember, that's the question he asked. He answered because I said average men very, very specifically, because that's who we're really talking about.
I hear you. It didn't come out, so I started asking.
Do you understand? I know you got 2 ears.
I said, yeah. Nigga. What are you talking, sir? Now,
Dana, say something, man.
Sir,
I'm sick of her shit, man. Let me read these super chats.
You got that brown show.
You know what?
Run, y'all, run. That's what you get.
John the Baptist with the $10. My boy Tobias Wells is taking it easy tonight. He talking to you, angry man.
Yeah, he love calling me Tobias.
EA with the $2. Tay is so pretty, so her beauty is worth $2. He don't mean it, Tay. He don't mean it. Well, wisdom with the $10. Okay, Juan, since you are still here, will you tell black men how your white women, or I think she meant Josh.
Yeah.
How your white women and your wives, Asian women act? Do they have attitudes? Get mad, disobey their men, yell at their men? Real talk.
Yeah. Well, here, let me answer that. The answer is abso-freaking-lutely. This is not a white or black thing or even an Asian thing, right? Like, all women have attitudes, regardless where you go. The question really boils down to as to what phase does it happen? So the white women, they tend to grow up with this princess syndrome kind of concept, whereas the Asian women, it's kind of hidden until the moment of marriage, and then it comes back and kicks into crap. You don't know when it's coming until that moment of I do. Black women, I'm still kind of like learning, and I'm going to be fair about this one. Most of the time I hear crap about black people, it's like these are minorities that they're talking about. We're talking about like 4 to 7% of the bottom rung of black men. The vast majority of black men are black families are middle class. They're quite literally, my next door neighbor would be risky.
So let me say is that I forgot her name. Is that Tay with the pink lipstick? No, that's Love. Okay. So to give you a little more context of what I'm talking about, to give you an example of what I mean by patriarchy. So if you go back to the 20s, like if you go back way back in the day, right? I would say patriarchy existed and most certainly benefited men. Because during that time, men could do certain things and they could get away with doing it, even though it was wrong. You had men that would leave their wives and they weren't put on child support. They could just abandon a whole family and nobody cared. There was a time where they had what was called the rule of thumb, where a husband could literally beat his wife as long as the stick wasn't bigger than his thumb. So that's the part of patriarchy where men did what they wanted to do, but mostly that was white men that did those things or were able to get away with doing those things. Now you fast forward to now and we're sitting here saying, oh, we're still under a patriarchy because men mostly run everything, because we always look at the top and we judge everything from the top, right? So since most of Congress is men, the president is always a man, we say, oh, we're still in a patriarchy. But how are we still in a patriarchy where today you have men that don't even father a child, but because the woman names the guy, he has to pay child support? You have a lot of different things nowadays where men don't benefit whatsoever or are put at a disadvantage, but we're still considered to be in a patriarchy. So it's not me moving the goalposts. I'm just pointing out the subtle differences between what patriarchy is today as compared to what it was back in the day when you had certain men that abused those rights and all of those different things.
Yeah, that's good.
I have a question.
Yeah, hold on. Let me read this real quick, guy. John the Baptist with the $2. That's the angry man I know. Teach angry man. And I wanted to kind of expound on what some of Josh said, but go ahead.
I was gonna ask Angry Man. Do you think the men on the top are the one that are destroying the patriarchy?
Yes. They're trying to basically the men at the top are just trying to keep their power. And they know that other men will always threaten their power. That's why whenever somebody gets to a certain height and they start getting a whole lot of money and they start saying anything that sounds out of what they want, they do something to bring that man back down. A good example is Kanye West.
Yes, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like dudes don't have a patriarchy the way it was back in the day where a guy could become John D. Rockefeller or something like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Damn, do you think what Josh said, and you guys, all of you, do you think that gets glossed over? Like, are we allowing the minority to just overwhelmingly speak for us? Is it the things that are propagated in the news? There's a white guy that I had on the show called Be Brave and Think, and he's saying that black people are the ones destroying American society. But you let Josh tell it, that's 4 to 7% of our people in our culture. The majority of us are our middle class. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I don't think Be Brave know what he's talking about. I think Be Brave hasn't really been around a lot of black people, and I think he has this like very narrow view of black people, and I think that's why he speaks the way he talks. Because like if he was interacting with black people and not just listening to what he sees on the news or what he hear on the news and stuff like that, I don't think he would have the same mindset about them, because it's impossible for anybody to destroy a country when they don't have control of it.
Yeah, that's another.
I agree with Dwayne on that real quick, because I also isn't Be Brave like a social scientist or anthropologist?
She took the glasses off. That's why he put the plate up there.
Man, I'm sick of her shit, man. Anybody else can go. Any fucking body.
I agree with Angry Man. I think that it's important to know the history on why, who's pulling the strings and why they're pulling the strings. Child support was started because white rich men were creating children in multiple places and taking advantage of not taking care of their kids. So child support was created because of that. Now it's a majority of black men that are basically being, hindered by it because of the white man taking advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? Of the system.
Yeah. Basically. But that's that statement that black people are destroying American culture. No, that definitely needs context. Americans are destroying American culture. Black people are destroying black culture. That's what's really going on.
So you don't think there's any white sexy reds, Angry Man?
Yeah, of course. Of course. But the difference is but here's the difference. And y'all probably gonna get offended by this, but I gotta say it. The difference is white people don't let redneck culture prohibit them from doing anything. They know how to separate their dregs of society from their elite. With us, because of our background, we always try to include everybody, and we always feel like the worst of us can be redeemed. And we have a hard time condemning and separating. And it's hard to do that when you're only 14% of the population. But we have a hard time separating from the worst of us so that the best of us can actually thrive and lead the worst of us out of the bullshit. We don't do that. We just include everybody in everything.
Yeah. Angry man, keep it real. If you wasn't married and you saw Sexy Red out of town, she was thugging with her rounds, would you holler at her?
Hell no.
Stop the cap.
All right.
Hell no. I feel like every time I see her on social media, when I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see a picture of her, I feel like I need a penicillin shot. Just
That's crazy. That was nuts.
She looks crazy.
Ain't no way in hell. No.
You mean you're not trying to go to Pound Town?
Hell no. Hell no. Look, I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up in the era where black women didn't look or act like that. So no.
Hey, damn. So that was one point that Be Brave did make, Angry Man. And I think you guys heard it before, that we make sure we absorb all of our trash. We don't let our trash go by the wayside. You know? Yeah. He's saying it's like 70% of blacks who aren't doing anything wrong cap and cape for the ones who are.
But it's because there's always the reason why if I'm being fair, part of the reason we don't do that is because there's always an excuse for why we don't do that. We have the history of the country, and we know that black people have been affected by a lot of goofy stuff that's been done in the country. So a lot of times we try to give grace to black folk that are at the bottom because we're like, you know, how would they be functioning if they was never interfered with? So we always think that way. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, 100%. Ro, I know you like shit like this.
I'm just thinking, like, during the slave days, we took care of each other. And that's just been, and I think months ago I discussed this with the other little white man that was on here, and I talked about how white people do the little trailer park. They leave them over in the trailer park, and they don't pay them any mind, because he was saying that we don't hold each other accountable when we do stuff. Like I think you were talking about molesting children or something like that. So my whole thing is, I agree we do that to a fault because of slavery and just that whole concept of being together and holding each other together, no matter what happens.
We do?
We do as a culture.
Well, I don't know about that whole thing you said about I don't know about that, what you said about the children, because if
no. What I'm saying is, because I said it on the show, I said no, we do hold them accountable. But I'm just saying, in a general aspect, like with the women taking their clothes off, I said, black men, y'all still liking them on Instagram and stuff like that. Y'all not telling them put your clothes back on. Y'all liking the pictures. I saw her today. I'm like you, Angry Man. She done did a split, pregnant, rubbing. I'm just like, you
can't get mad at the brothers for liking the yams. I mean, that's.
But the point is, y'all still not holding her accountable. Y'all not saying put your clothes
Y'all
on.
gotta hold her accountable.
We can, but she only gonna listen to y'all.
No. See, no, they're not gonna listen to us as much as that. Look, if you remember back in the day when you had a big mama, big mama is the one that used to keep the women straight.
Right, Angry Man, back in the day, Generation X, yes, but not now. These girls do not, these kids, you have to get them young.
Because y'all dropped the ball.
She's not gonna listen to us if y'all sitting there like
shit like that.
Y'all ladies, hold on. I know y'all ain't gonna like it, but I gotta say it. Y'all ladies dropped the ball when you started being friends with your daughters.
Shit like that.
No, ain't none of that.
I don't have daughters.
Are y'all? Hold on.
That is true. That is
true.
Y'all
pushing back against this?
No.
Now, I was agreeing. I ain't got no kids, but I've seen it, and I feel like
I do
we have the power to change that.
I do agree that women do that, but I think overall, for the most part, we are changing it in a sense where we've seen what happened. We see the sexy reds and stuff like that. So now women are like, hold on. We gotta, you
You
stop.
sure about that? I saw Debbie Allen twerking. I saw Debbie Allen, Felicia Rashad's sister. That's right, Claire Huxtable's sister.
No, she's a real loud dancer though. I ain't seen her twerk.
Yeah, she's a
But even if we stop it, if y'all are sitting there liking it, they're not gonna stop. We can tell them, we can say whatever we want.
They
but
like
if
it, and they leave.
the man is gonna like it, they're like, I'm doing it for the man, not for y'all. We can say whatever we want.
I was watching an episode of Love and Hip Hop, and Yandy said something to one of them girls, and they just looked at her like, "What you talking to me for? I'm making this money."
And you know what Yandy should have did? Yandy should have did what? See, this is what I don't get. This is what I don't get. I'm gonna ask y'all this question. Black women, y'all don't have no problem putting hands on people. Why y'all ain't putting y'all hands on these chicks? Like, why y'all ain't going ham on these chicks? What's going on?
You promoting us to fight? Don't perpetuate that. I don't appreciate that.
Promoting us to fight, so y'all can come and say that all we do is fight each other.
That is true.
Don't perpetuate that. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I'm not gonna stand for that.
Okay.
No.
If you say so. If you say
what? Discipline?
That's nuts. That's nuts. That's nuts.
We can't do that.
That's
So
ridiculous.
y'all can't discipline. You can't snatch her ass off the dance floor from twerking, or you can't snatch her ass and put a coat over her.
I can do that.
No, that's not what you put a coat over her, but why you gotta put hands on her?
Huh?
That's not what I'm disagreeing with him. What I'm saying is I don't appreciate the perpetuation of Black women are so quick to put hands on somebody. That I don't like.
For what?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
You put a coat on her though.
We'll keep dealing with
Here you go.
this.
Here you go.
Good to know there's one that can
How old is this heifer?
Too old.
Yeah, I think isn't she older than Felicia, or is Felicia older than
Felicia's older, and Felicia's older. But I also want to say, I see what she's doing, but I've also seen, I think it kind of over sexualized at times, but it's such a very complex and layered conversation, and it's going to be. This is a whole nother topic, I think, that we should delve into. But I don't agree with us putting hands on women, because if you want to go back to Big Mama Angry Man, Big Mama didn't put hands. She spoke. But listen, but hold on. Also, men perpetuate this because women want attention from men. And if men weren't liking it or spending money on these women, they would not be sitting there doing it in the fashion that they're doing it now. They're being rewarded by men, and you cannot ignore that. It's disingenuous for men to totally ignore that women do that type of attention for behavior for your attention and your dollars and everything else, your sex, because they think that's a prize. It's really not, but they think that's a prize. They think the money is the prize. So they do that for those things.
So,
that's what I just said, angry man. To talk to the women, but it don't matter what we say because y'all are liking it. You just said y'all gonna like it anyway.
I can't I can't control what the simps are doing. All I can say is this, right? When
you said us, angry man, you said us. You said us earlier. You said you want us to not look at it. You said us.
No, she just was talking about the dudes that's liking the photos and stuff. That's the simps. That's what I'm talking about.
No, angry man. So, earlier you sat there and said we talked about the other women earlier. I know you said you want us to not look at it.
But exactly. That is exactly my point. So you're still looking at it. So you're helping.
What I said is you can't get mad at the fellas for liking the yams. They're gonna like the yams. Look, first of all, none of these dudes had no control over these platforms. None of them. If here's the thing, if I go, and I've done this, I went on TikTok and I've seen women up there that was half naked, and I'll put a comment in the comment section and say, yo, what you really need to do is put some clothes on. And guess what? My comment will get flagged, but her video won't get flagged. So we can't control that. We can't control that. Now at the bottom level, before you even get on the platform, the mamas can control how they children are being raised. They can control that. If a mama come, matter of fact, I seen a Latin woman do this. there was some Latin girls. They was in their room and they was twerking on TikTok or Instagram or something. And the Latin mama came in there with a slipper and was going upside their head. You feel what I'm saying? If you look at it, there was a time where if a woman was married and she had a house and she wasn't keeping her house was messy and stuff. If her mama came over to that house, she'd be like, when I come back over here, this house better be clean. And if it wasn't clean, that mama didn't have no problem going upside her grown daughter's head. So if you saying Big Mama didn't put no hands on nobody, Big Mama put switch, belt, hands, whatever she could put on you, she would put on you because she didn't want her daughters out here acting a damn fool.
I feel like you guys have selective accountability, you have selective outrage, you have selective responsibility, because we've had so many conversations in the past about how men are responsible for the way that women feel, or how little girls are raised, or how they're viewed in society. Men are the ones who shape that. Moms don't have nothing to do with that. We're nurturers. We don't have the ability to do that. But now when they're out there twerking and acting a fool and showing ass and looking crazy, it falls back on the women. So is it which way are we going here? Is it Uchi Wally, or is it one mic? Y'all are just all over the place, and I don't understand.
You're conflating.
Because women.
How am I complaining?
Because women have a stronger influence over children, even if the father's in the household. So if the father, and I've witnessed this myself back in early 2000s, where you might be at a family get together and you see they're playing music and some of the younger girls start dancing and twerking and stuff. And the men be like, hey man, don't be letting them girls twerk like that. And the mamas is like, oh, leave them alone. They just having fun. So it's one
who has
thing.
a stronger influence over the kids, the mother or the father?
Mothers.
Yeah, he said fathers, I thought.
The father's discipline. Yeah. Father's discipline, right? But the mom's nurture. But I do know that a woman won't know how to love herself if a man doesn't love her first. But if the little girls are going to perpetuate what it is their mom allows them to.
Let me tell you something. In our culture, I can't speak for white culture, but for black culture, if the mama don't like the daddy, the kids ain't gonna like the daddy. If the dad don't like the mama, it don't matter. If the dad don't like the mama, the kids is gonna defend mama. Mothers have a bigger influence on the children. The influence a mother has on her child is like the pull of a black hole. You can't avoid that. So whenever you have a woman in a relationship with a dude and they're not on the same page, that kid is going to act a certain way. So yeah, the men are supposed to say, my daughter ain't going to do XYZ, but the mama got to back that up. The mama can't be like, oh, they just dancing, oh, it's just cool or whatever. And what you have going on nowadays is you have a lot of older women that are not only condoning what women are doing, but they're participating in it.
And competing with the daughters too, because you see a lot of mothers and daughters on the internet, showing who booty is bigger than the other one. They're twerking together. They're doing all kinds of things that they're not supposed to do with the daughters. So the moms are the ones that are not disciplining these kids. And because the mothers are younger these days, a lot younger, so they and the daughters end up being younger together, like 40 and 20 and stuff like that. So I think the women needs to be the one, especially the ones that are not doing it. If this doesn't represent you, why should you condone it?
Yeah, you got grandmothers and that's the other crazy part. That's part of it. You got grandmothers that's 40 years old. My grandmother was 70 when I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? You got grandmothers that's 40. You got great grandmothers that's in their 50s. That's crazy.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Go ahead, Ham.
Well, and even if you
real quick, John, if you don't mind, just so you know, and I in my house, I'm in control of everything that happens here, But you just want to understand that my daughters, I got 5 daughters.
Wow.
They're gonna duplicate what their mothers do. Right, I can have control on discipline and structure, right? But that's the person they look up to. That's the person that they're gonna mimic. I think that has to be thoroughly understood. You guys are silent when these things are deadly. So when Cardi B was saying she was drugging men and bringing them to rooms and getting them robbed, women were quiet. That is the problem. You guys don't require commitment before you give up the pussy. So men just gonna keep fucking and double clicking pictures. The moment you shit, not to mention your decorum is shit. But if you guys change that, so much of this shit will change. You know, niggas is wild horny. I got 1 billion sperm in my body right now. Like, come on, man. Y'all, come on. Like, you know, but.
Oh, Lord.
But, who was up? Dana, I think, and then John.
Oh, go ahead, Dana.
You wasn't. You don't even. But,
well, I interrupted you on accident. You almost bit my head off. But go ahead, Dana.
All right, go ahead, Dana.
It's not that I disagree with what you all are saying. I do believe that women and mothers have influence over their daughters and their behavior, and we do need to hold each other accountable. Again, my issue comes into play because I feel like the men are being very selective with when they should be influencing, when they should be responsible for a situation for their kids, or when all of it, because we've talked ad nauseum about how men are in control and how
put them in a
they're
no, I was playing it for Jay.
Yeah, I got you. About how men are in control, about how, the example that you gave before, Hamp. If you're in the room and your daughter starts twerking and mom says, okay, let her do her thing, is she going to get up if you tell her to get her ass up?
Yeah, they both going to get reprimanded.
That's what I'm saying. So rather than putting so much focus now selectively on what the women are doing wrong per usual, why not put the onus back on y'all if you are truly in control and have the ability to shape how these young ladies are going to behave out in the society? Stop blaming us for every fucking thing. That shit is getting real old.
Usual. Wait. Per usual.
No, hold on.
Men are, first of all, the onus
per
has
usual on this panel. On this panel, Angry Man.
Okay. I thought you were talking about in general.
Let me qualify it. No. Per usual on this panel.
My bad.
I got to reply for it, but let John. Hold on, let John get in real quick.
So yeah, in general practice, men set the borders for family and for society, and especially for family, men set the borders. But when it so inside the family, it would be the father would set the border, but the mother would be home with the kids or be more like the nurturing. So nurturing also meant keeping the kids also in line too, right? So it would be, although what the father said, the mother reinforces it. What's happening today? What happened since feminism kind of kicked in, is that no one wants to respect the border that men set anymore. Even men don't even respect the border that men are supposed to set now, which is why we're talking about men liking pictures that we really shouldn't be liking. But it's natural for a man to look at a woman. But if women did what they were supposed to, and keep women in check, and then men keep men in check, everything would work the way it's supposed to work, and you wouldn't have out of control. And hold on, Dana. You wouldn't have out of control men.
I'm sorry.
You wouldn't have out of control men, and you wouldn't have out of control women. But what's happened is, since feminism, no one respects the borders that's supposed to be set.
So all these households are just operating in dysfunction, is what you're saying. So the father sets these boundaries. He sets the tone as to how the household is supposed to operate. Mom just disregards and does whatever she wants to do and has her own set of rules and her own playbook. And
that's what's happening.
And hold on. And in turn, dad, father, provider is just okay with it, and he's just rolling with it. That's not real life, and that's not what's happening. And John, I'm very surprised to hear you say that, because you, Hamp, and the other married men who come on here talk about how you run your households and how your women are subservient or whatever. You set the tone, yada yada yada. Don't come up here now talking about. Hold on, Angry Man. Don't come up here now talking about how women are disregarding the tones that are set by the men that they are raising these families with. I just don't buy it, and I think it's, again, very selective.
Man,
So hold on 1 second. So what you're referring to is you're pointing me out individually. But me individually don't have this problem. I'm talking culturally. What's happened is the culture wide women do not respect the borders that men set, to the point that if I were to say something right now, y'all would take my words out of context and use it against me. If I would say that men were truly in control, I could put my hands on a woman to keep her in order. But now I'm not saying I would, but if I did,
it'd be an issue.
Y'all would
but you only got to take it to that extreme. Like the reality.
I know you don't have to. I know you don't have to.
The reality. No, I mean to
in
prove
conversation.
your point. I mean to prove your point, not the actual act. The thing is, if we're being totally honest, in this day and age, the average black woman don't listen to the average black man.
They don't.
You don't. And the average black man, the way a lot of black men operate is black men want peace more than anything else. They want peace of mind. So what happens is, over time of a black man arguing back and forth with his wife about his daughters, he gets to the point where he turns into Cliff Huxtable. He just sits back and don't say shit because he don't want to argue. He don't want to go back and forth. Like I literally seen. No, I'm not. I'm literally not making. Look, check this out. No, I'm not. Check this out. There's a hold on. There's a guy on TikTok, right? He does these videos with his wife. These are little comedy videos or whatever, right? And there's one video where he's telling his wife, "Look, this is where your purses go," and he's showing her to put her purses in the closet, organized, instead of having them laying everywhere, right? And the woman is like, yes, I understand. And she's agreeing with him, right? If you go look at the comment section, it's filled with women saying, oh, that's so cute. He thinks he's in charge. I do the same thing with my husband. This is not me joking. This is real. Like the average household with black folks is a household where the women run the household. And the man is there. The man is there, but he's not playing no humongous role in disciplining the children.
And whose fault is that? And whose fault is that? And why have you and your wife not had that conversation beforehand? If that's what you really, really wanted, where's the personal accountability?
Let me jump in.
How is he going to enforce that?
Well, that's the thing. You guys, so Angry Man, John the Baptist are speaking about the majority. 75% of our kids are born out of wedlock. So you talking about a minority of men anyway in these given situations with these children. And how many men out here, huh?
I said that's true. We were talking about a very specific subset.
And then how many men out here are actually on this tip? How many men out here are you guys willing to follow to that extent? Or are men talking about happy wife, 50-50 partnership, etc., etc.? Love told me 6 months ago that if she make more money than her man, she get the big piece of chicken.
I have been reformed since then. Let's go. And don't sit there and let these men get all riled up.
Angry Man, you see how I start cooking?
Just earlier tonight. Just earlier. Oh, you pause. I didn't know you paused. Go ahead.
That's fine. Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
That's what Dana always say. You paused. My bad. I'm apologizing.
Ham is on some propaganda bull crap, and
John the Baptist with a $2 super chat. That's the Angry Man I know. Teach Angry Man. I'm not listening to her.
Love, you not fooling nobody. You
hold on, Angry Man. Let me get these three real quick. John Henry, what's popping, my boy, with the $2? Thanos is still right. Shout out to the AM show. Yeah, the Angry Man. Yeah, word. G Fern, where you been at, bro? You must got a girlfriend now with the $5. The reason men don't speak up on the conduct of women is because we're avoiding being labeled as misogynist. Damn,
y'all don't care about that shit. Y'all do not care about that.
Wisdom with the $10. Oh yeah, Angry Man, you said you're gonna make you approved daughters bow. Many daughters have this disappointed and respected father of the God damn typing like a slave.
She was typing real fast. I think that's what
that is. I do agree with that though. She's right.
This
there are daughters that do.
Angry man, what does this say?
She's basically referencing the statement I made earlier about fathers giving away their daughters at the wedding.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's basically saying that there are plenty of daughters who have disrespected a respected man by dating a dude that they didn't want them dating. So I agree with that.
People go rogue all the time. I want to get Drabino in. I know John the Baptist wanted to say something real quick.
Love, you ain't fooling nobody. You seem like the type of chick that cut up when you get a new shade of lipstick or you get your nails done. You probably start cutting up all the way.
Angry man, do you know her?
No.
Yo, Angry man, I gotta have talks with her before we get on the panel. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to get you married, my nigga. Stop talking so much. It's sure enough, she can't hide the shit, bro.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
And hell, you try to get another dude in trouble. Come on, bro. Don't set nobody up like that.
Man, listen, man, I can't protect the nigga no more. I live in Houston. Like, she needs some motherfucker. You see how I got Dana being docile.
And
for the poking her. No, poke the bear.
But
for the record, you will never, your husband or future husband will never make more money than you if you eat his big piece of chicken.
This nigga called me docile.
Shit like that.
But I was just gonna say, just earlier, I told Love I made 35,000, and she shamed me.
Oh yeah.
Oh my Lord.
No, I called
she
you a
shamed me.
Play the victim clip right damn now. You want to be a victim?
You're a victim.
Look at them.
Yeah,
they still trying to shame me right now.
Yeah.
I'm a hard-working man. I'm a hard-working
God.
man. Take care of my family, and they shaming me for making 35,000 a year. What else?
That's
is a man
exactly
do
why
in
we're
society?
shaming you, John. We do not want you to support your family. We don't. This is ridiculous.
All they do, John.
John,
Get
stop
fired
it. You
and
stop
shit,
it right
John.
damn now. Nobody's shaming you. Stop it.
All right, can I get Drabino in, or y'all gonna try to drown Drabino out too?
We can let
You
him
gotta hurry
talk.
up 'cause it's getting
They're
late.
very concise.
Angry man is a legend, and y'all won't even let him finish his sentence.
Well, he finished about an hour of sentences so far. A whole hour's worth of sentences he's finished already.
Oh my Lord.
Stop it.
I told you.
Drabino, what's popping, my boy?
That's a new shade of lipstick. I told you.
Yeah.
Shagging up.